I had 6 or 7 on the phone last night, so I'm already ahead in this group.
Just talk about the excitement of the new season.
I feel like a kid at Christmas. It's 0-0, starting a whole next season. It's a new life, a new breath, and we're just, all of us are excited about getting back out on the field.
You've had a chance now to do a little scouting on Florida State, I guess. What do you see in them?
They're very talented. Anybody in this 64 left is going to be. That's what you expect, and I expect a great ball game. They're well coached. This is a fun fact. Their assistant coach, he's a New Zealander, and he played fast pitch in New Zealand, and he is probably the only dude in the history of Major League Baseball to be offered a Major League contract without ever have playing baseball. When he signed with the Braves, and he played in their minor league organization for a while. He never made it to the show, but he anyway, they're well coached. They're well put together. Our team knows that we know each other. They have a lot of kids from Georgia, as do we. And I believe this is the head coach's 4th or 5th year, and she's just done better and better and better every year there. And I look for every game to be to the wire and great softball games.
Do you feel like when you saw where you were and somebody on the committee had a sense of humor or liked Vann a lot, or you know because your winning percentage in Alabama is huge, you're going to see a lot of friendly faces, and there's got to be a sense of comfort playing over there.
You know, absolutely. We're really excited. One of our assistants is from Fairhope, which is right across the bay there, the bridge, and Coach Reach and I are both from Alabama. We have several players from Alabama. I started my head coaching career at South Alabama. It feels good to be in a friendly atmosphere after having gone across the country last year and, headed out there. We had to pick up our opponent, and then coming back, we had to split up in 3 groups after a 2 a.m. bus ride to Portland. I mean, it was just almost a little bit of a nightmare. You don't want to say that going into the dance, but it's a little bit of a travel logistically nightmare. So when we saw our name pop up there and we saw a bus ride, we were thrilled. I was sitting right here, actually threw my clipboard down on the floor. I was like, "Booyah, we're getting on a bus!" And I was really, really happy. And thanks to the committee, but thanks to the girls too. They worked really, really hard, and they earned their berth. And just excited about going down there. The South Alabama coach is a dear friend of mine. We're the same age. We grew up playing together, and we played against each other in college. And for a mid-major, I think the only other mid-major that's ever hosted in the history of softball is ULL. And they're the 13th overall seed. You got to respect that and what she's done there. She started the program.
A little bit about the evolution of this pitching staff. We did it with both AO and Stephanie. And I know you approach it a little uniqueness. We've talked about it before, how you don't have that one pitcher that goes out and throws every inning of every game. Do you like, obviously you do, you like your staff and where it's at and the depth, and I think that may have been a problem last year, not having as many as you do right now, healthy and ready to go.
Well, at this point last year, Becker had a season-ending injury in the SEC tournament, and, you always have that mojo player, and I felt like last year she was kind of the mojo, and we had that long trip out, and she could not play. She had had the injury, and she did so much to work herself back into being able to have a successful senior year. I just feel like from a pitching standpoint, we're a little bit better put together at this point than we were at this point last year. Everybody's confident and ready to pitch, and they all want the ball. So you always want that. You want them all to be hungry to get out there to fight for the team. But definitely from at this point last year to this point now, I think in the circle we're feeling a little bit more confident than we did last year at this juncture.
That had to be such a unique situation for Becker to sit in the dugout and cheer for her teammates knowing she couldn't pitch, and then a year later she gets to be a vital part of what we're doing.
Yeah, I think she was a little bit concerned. A lot of people that have the injury that she had have surgery and they have to sit out a year. And she did not want to redshirt her senior year. She came in with this group of girls, and she just, I think she was concerned, a little bit devastated in the fact that she had labored very hard all year and had a good year last year, and then had to sit out. But it shows what kind of commitment she has to herself and to Mississippi State softball. And she went home. She did not have surgery, and she rehabbed herself all summer. And what she's been able to do this year is very impressive. I've seen other pitchers with the same type of injury, and they're not nearly themselves. And obviously that was a big concern for our whole team as we started this season. The unknown of how Becker's going to turn out, and she just committed to it. And I know it's hard for her every day, and she had to think about. We talk about when it's a grind, you got to think about how good it's going to feel. And I think I'm very proud of what she's done. I think she is proud of herself as well.
Having gone to the tournament last year and then obviously going into this year, so setting that as an expectation, did you see that kind of pay off this past week during the waiting process? Because as the kid said, they practice as if they expected to get a bid.
Absolutely. I think we talk about things being good and bad instead of good or bad. There's always a good and there's always a bad, or vice versa. And winners and learners, not winners and losers. And this week we really talked about the importance of sharpening the blade. Let's take a minute. We took a minute. They had 2 days, 2 complete days off. One kid, Allison Owen, said she bought a coloring book because she was so bored she colored all day. So now they're eager. They're excited to get back out. We had a little tournament, a little inter-squad tournament last week, and then we had a couple days off, and now we're back out here. And I just think they're mentally fresher, and not that we would not have loved to have been in the SEC tournament, absolutely, but I think they have prepared, knowing they are getting into the tournament, to the postseason, and this little break, I think we're just a little bit sharper mentally, a little bit more excited. I think it's paid off that we had that mindset, that we knew we were getting in. We had a good resume. We played hard all year, and they practiced that way while we were waiting to see.
How difficult as a coach was it to make sure that they stay mentally sharp without that week of the SEC tournament?
Well, I think any time at this point of the year, we played 56 games. It's football, you play 10, 12 games. Everybody's talking about what's your pregame speech going to be, coach, or so-and-so ex-football coach has a great pregame speech. I'm like, he's got to say it 10 times. I got to say it 56. So at this point, I think everybody is trying to figure out how to keep them hungry and how to keep them motivated. And yes, you'd like to say the postseason is going to do that, but realistically, they need a little bump. And we played a tournament last week, and it was a lot of fun. We put in some different parameters, and we make things very competitive in practice, where there's a goal, there's a reason, you want to win it. And our girls have stayed hungry that way. We structured it. We try to structure it where we could keep their attention. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little off here, yesterday's practice, they were hungry, they were ready to go. We practiced right before the selection show. There's a lot of electricity, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. So it's always a challenge, I think, especially if you're not A-Rod and you can just go out and close your eyes and hit our events. But we got to work hard. We got to work on the fundamentals, and we got to continue to make sure that they realize that the details are what's most important, even at this part of the time.
Man, do you feel like there's a different mental outlook for this team compared to last year? I felt a lot of, let's just see what happens. We're happy to be there out in Eugene. And it seems like this year you've beaten a lot of teams that are national seeds, and last year maybe it was we think we can get through this regional, and it seems like this year it's we're good enough to get through this, and we're good enough to get to the World Series.
Absolutely. It's all part of the process. I think these kids, I think Jessica Cooley said it in a release today about a lot of people don't really realize what we've done. Last year, we were in some games and we were close to winning them. And our first meeting this year, I put it up on the board, and there were 16 games that we lost that we were in, and it could have gone either way. And I mean, I brought up specifics like this ball was hit 3 inches foul or we win the game. And I showed them the 16 games I was talking about, and our record could be different. And this year, we won some of those 16 games, and we were in the same situation to win some series. We were in a situation to win the series versus LSU. We could have won the series against Florida. We could have won the series against Alabama. We could have won the series against Texas A&M. We were in Auburn. We were in situations to win those series. And for whatever reason, something happens, and that's part of the process. Last year, we were in it to win one game. We were close enough that we could win one game. This year, we're winning the one game, almost getting the series, and I just think it's part of the process. I think the girls know that they've played some really good softball this year. At times, we've been really, really good, and at times, we've been really, really bad, and they've learned how to handle that roller coaster and learn to persevere, and who can handle that situation the best, who can handle being thrown down the best, who's going to get back up the quickest. And I think we've done that this year. It's part of the process, and I think you're right. I think they do have a different mental approach to this year's regional, not necessarily because where it is or who we're playing or anything like that, but about themselves and what they've accomplished this year.
What do you think makes Jessica the base seal that she is? Obviously, kind of had a 22 in a row and stuff. What makes her so good in base paths?
She's sneaky. She's fast. She has a great slide. She does not come across as the fastest girl on the team, but she is quicker than she looks, I guess is the way to say that. But I think she was consecutive. She got thrown out for the first time in her career this year, I believe. Yeah. So I'll definitely take. There was a pitch out, and I definitely felt terrible for it. It's totally my fault, and I hate it for her. But she's sneaky. She gets a good jump. She's got really good timing. She has a great slide. She has a good feel for where the ball is, where the fielder is, and she's fast. She's fast.
I just talked to her. She kind of credited you though for a lot of her base steals. When you kind of give her the sign, do you know what pitch is coming? Do you know what I mean? How much do you help her in that role?
Well, we both help each other a lot. You know, it's you are trying to guess when are they throwing the pitch out. It's definitely strategy. When are they throwing the pitch out? When are they when's the catcher not paying attention? And you know, if you can put that signal on in situations where they're not expecting it, I think that's really what I try to do the most. A lot of teams will steal on the first or second pitch, or but I think, you know, you just have to get a feel for the game and get a gut. She's good at reading the ball in the dirt. When she sees a ball that's you might one-hop the catcher, but it's going down. She's good at taking advantage of that. She's just savvy. She's savvy, and it's fun to watch her. It's fun to watch her run. It's fun to watch. We have a fast team. It's fun to watch everybody. It's exciting. We've scored from second on little bitty ground balls, up the middle, that you wouldn't score from second on just because we're so fast. Heidi Shape hit a Texas leaguer a foot out of the reach of the shortstop's hand at A&M to put us ahead. It scored two because we had Kayla Winkfield at second, and then I think Offit was at third. And I mean, I wasn't stopping her they were going to have to make a bang bang. I mean, we were getting in there, and she did. So we're fun to. When we get on bases, we're fun to watch because we're going to run, and we're going to run fast and create some. They're going to have to make a great play.